Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today, we're going to talk about the big news. One of them got full approval. We're there. Finally happened. Full approval. So, we're going to talk about that, what it means, why it may not be the game changer that a lot of people are picturing, and what we as Americans need to do because of the situation we find ourselves in. Because while it may not be a game changer in and of itself, it does provide another tool. Okay, so one of the vaccines got full FDA approval. A lot of people are suggesting that this is going to help with the people who are anti. It's not really. Most of them are not anti-vaccine based on reason. They're based on their position is based on fear. So it's probably not going to impact them a lot. They're just going to move the goalposts. They'll no longer say it's not approved and go to say, well, it wasn't approved the right way or whatever. Now, in and of itself, that's not a huge deal, except for the fact that about 1 in 5 self-identifies as anti-vax. It's 20%. 20%. That's really bad news. That is bad news because the goal is to get 70 to 90% vaccinated. If 20% are starting from the position of, I am anti, I'm not going to do this under any circumstance, you got to get everybody else. Now, let's distinguish between the anti-crowd and those who are hesitant. The approval may help with those who are hesitant. For some of them, they may have just been waiting for that. For others, they are hesitant because of the rhetoric that has come from the anti-crowd. And even though it may not sway the anti-crowd, losing the talking point of it's not FDA approved may kind of loosen the hold that rhetoric has on the hesitant crowd. And at this point, the goal has to be to get everybody who isn't just absolutely committed to avoiding it vaccinated. That's what we have to do. So we have to start focusing on the hesitant demographic, more so than trying to convert the anti-crowd. Because with the hesitant side, you're going to have more success. You are going to have more success. You can point out that I want to say it's more than 1 billion doses have been given now of the various vaccines. And while only one has full FDA approval in the United States, the other ones are expected to get it soon. Okay, so this approval helps us target a little bit more and know who to reach out to. The reaction from the anti-crowd when this news came out was exactly what you would expect. Move the goalpost, pretend like it didn't happen, pretend like they were never saying that that's what they were waiting for. But the hesitant crowd, they seem more receptive. So, since it isn't going to impact them, what will it do? You're going to see a lot more private mandates. Meaning, if you want to exercise at this location, if you want to go to this private school, if you want to work at this location, you're going to have to be vaccinated. Companies are going to take it upon themselves to make that call, a bunch of them. You're going to see that happen more and more and more. And it's not necessarily because they want to be socially responsible or anything like that. It's because they want to avoid the liability. The U.S. military, you will have some government mandates. The military is, of course, going to mandate this vaccine now. Okay, that's going to happen. I'd be surprised if it hasn't already happened. They said they were going to as soon as the approval came through. So that's a large chunk of the population. And there are some people who are in that anti-demographic that are going to end up reconsidering their position when they are mandated to do it by their job or by their hobby or whatever. So there will be some chipping away at that. But the main goal and why it's important to recognize that 20% number, 1 out of 5, is if the American people do not get into that 70 to 90% range on their own, using private means and conversation and meeting in the marketplace of ideas and all of that, and just general persuasion, there will be government mandates of the general population. It will happen. Okay? And I know some people may think that's a good idea. It's probably not. Not just from any ideological perspective, but if it comes to that, first, you can probably expect some minimal amount of violence that's going to go along with it. That's always bad. Violence is bad. But it's also going to help reinforce the conspiratorial mindset of those in the anti-crowd. So, as somebody who has 100 hours of content dedicated to the idea of, hey, go get vaccinated, we need to make sure that we can get enough people vaccinated so we don't need those mandates. So the government doesn't have the reason to do that. Because people keep saying, oh, the government can't do that. Oh, yeah, they can. They can and they will. So we need to do everything we can to meet it, to meet the goals, to meet what is necessary without that becoming a viable option. Because if it does, those people who are anti, that's going to send them even further down that rabbit hole. We'll never get them back. And that large of a segment of the population, having their view reinforced that it's some kind of conspiracy, is probably really bad right now. We need to be working to pull people out. So the idea of a general government mandate, it's something that we got to work to avoid. Because the government will impose it. There's no doubt about that. If they feel it's necessary, they're going to do it. We have to make sure that it's not. I know it seems weird to be trying to protect the people who wouldn't get a shot to protect you. But if we want to get back to any semblance of a functioning country here when it comes to discussion and information exchange, we have to get them out of that conspiratorial mindset. And a government mandate, it's just going to send them further down it. So, please, go get vaccinated. If you are hesitant, reach out. Ask somebody. There are a whole bunch of people who would be willing to explain any questions that you have. And if you are one of those who has been too busy or just doesn't see it as a high priority because you live out in the middle of nowhere, I know a lot of those people, now's the time to do it. We've got to get these numbers up. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.